Studio audience was privileged to hear the sagacious thoughts of a famous Australian after he'd enjoyed a deferred gastronomic experience.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's your late lunch with Dr. Sir Leslie Colin Patterson.
Hello, everybody. Good evening, you all. Well, ladies and gentlemen, yes, it's Les Patterson at your service. And this could be a first for British television. In fact, I think it probably is. We're going to get along like a house on fire tonight. It's going to be a beautiful show, or it could be shithouse. I don't know. We'll do our best. Yes, it's going to be a seminal seminar tonight. When we chew the controversial fat, and welcome to Lunch with Les, or I should say, a late lunch with Les, because my little secretary, Christabel, and me lingered over the stickies today. We did. I like a bit of Irish coffee after a four-course meal, and little Christabel, well, when it comes to Advocaat and cherry brandy with Tia Maria Chasers, she is the original deep throat, aren't you, darling? Oh, just take this napkin, will you? Just give it to famine relief, will you? Ladies and gentlemen, little Christabel is my favourite ceiling inspector. She's a lovely little hornbag. She's subsidised by the Australian government. And, well, she comes under office equipment, as a matter of fact. So do I, you with me? Well, it's the squeaky clean Les you're looking at tonight. I've scrubbed up pretty well, haven't I, ladies and gentlemen? And for your comfort and your convenience, I've had the little op. I've had the snip. I've had a vasectomy on my saliva duct. So, sorry, girls, there'll be no dribble tonight. That could disappoint the odd gob freak in our midst. Well, it's going to be solid controversy with some pertinent interruptions from our champion chin-waggers. Let's hear it, please, for experts, Claire Rayner and Mari Helvan. If any technical points arise with regard to flatulence, incontinence, cystitis or poverty, Claire is your girl. On the other hand, anything relating to rooting or how to get rid of love bites, I'll try and answer your questions for you with some with some input here from the hornbag's point of view, supplied by Mari Helvan here.
What bag?
By the way, Mari, if I may say so, that's a very lovely little kind of jumper arrangement you're wearing. What's it made of, Mari?
Lycra. My
Lycra.
favorite fabric.
Oh, lycra, beautiful. Where's the zip on this?
There's no zip.
There's no zips, eh? How do you get it off?
My own design.
How do you get it off? Oh, well, I'll see later, won't I, ladies and gentlemen? With any luck if I play my cards right. Now, our topic tonight is something we've probably all heard a lot about. It's a subject that won't go away. There are no easy answers, neither. It's a big issue, and I like a big issue. I like to have a big issue about once a day, as a matter of fact. Are you with me? And that gives you a rough idea what kind of a show this is, ladies and gentlemen. So put the old people to bed and get out the six-pack, sit on the beanbag and enjoy yourself. The subject tonight is sex and marriage. Are they compatible? What about you, sir?
Sex and marriage?
Yes. You're a married man?
Almost.
Almost. Lovely. And this the happy little lady?
It certainly is.
Oh, she's very, very nice too. Do you think, which is more important to you, darling? What's your name? Don't think from me. Don't worry, my saliva is safe.
You sure?
It is.
Let's take my makeup off.
Tell me this, darling. What is your values here? I mean, the physical side is pretty good, isn't it?
I would say
but
so,
you reckon
yes.
the wedding bells are going to give it an extra little dimension?
I hope so.
Yeah, what about you, sir? Your name?
Jeff, sir.
Jeff. Married man?
Divorced.
Oh. Would you recommend it again, second time around?
No.
Oh. And you, sir?
Morris.
Hello, Maury. How are you? She's lovely too, eh? Does your wife know you're out with this tart?
She's the...
Who is she?
I'm the wife.
Oh, you're the wife, are you? Shit. Oh, shit. You're the wife, are you? Well, does your girlfriend know you're out with her? It's a real problem. What job have you got, Morris?
I'm a photographer.
Oh, photography, eh? Does she come into the dark room with you, does she?
She usually helps me enlarge. And...
Yeah, so she... You took the words right out of my mouth, Morris. She can help me too, I reckon. Mind you, I'm doing pretty well already, ladies and gentlemen. What's your name, darling?
Francis.
Francis. Oh, beautiful. How long have you been married?
20 years.
20 years. That's beautiful. Well, you've taken her with you tonight, and that's unusual, you know, because my wife, Lady Patterson, I haven't taken her anywhere since our honeymoon, and I think that's how women like it. I think so. It's not good for them. You know, there are a lot of official functions that I have to go to, stand-up cocktail parties, but it's not good for women. Their veins, you know, it buggerises their veins. However, she's looking at these smoked oysters on the biscuits. You know, I'm signalling, you eat them, stick them in your cob, Gwen. And then at the table, you know, well, she's got no conversation, you know. How to operate a pedal bin is about the best thing that Gwen can do, which is of great interest to the Mexican ambassador sitting next to her. Oh, sorry for the poor bastard. But what worried me, Morris and Fran, was that Australian credibility really went down the gurgler, because a lot of people judge Australia by me, Claire.
Leslie, I've listened to this. Now, I've known Gwen, like you, for many, many years. I can think of many good reasons, Leslie, why Gwen prefers to be left behind. Many good reasons.
You can.
And I think it's high
May
time...
I ask?
I think it's high time you stopped bullying her and talking about her, and we got on with what we're here to talk about.
I'm talking about her because I love that woman, Claire Rayner.
Really?
I do. But it's nice of you to fly to her defence. It is, you know. She's a nice woman, little Claire Rayner. And I trust we don't hear too much more of you, Claire.
Oh, I'll do my best to keep you happy tonight,
Listen,
Leslie.
Claire, may I? Back to the subject of sex and marriage. You are distracting us from our theme. You, sir. Where's the microphone? You, sir. Where did you meet this little lady?
I met her on a flight to Nice.
A flight?
A flight to Nice, yes.
Oh, very, very nice.
Love
a
her
little
first flight.
It's a bit raunchy up there in the sky, isn't it? You met there, you just looked across the aisle and magic, is it?
Well, I was serving him tea, actually, in the cockpit.
You were serving him tea in the cockpit. He didn't spill any on his cockpit by any chance, did he? You know, and I think romance is very important. What do you reckon, Mari?
I think romance is very important, but I'm not too sure about you being romantic.
Well, I am very, very romantic, as you will find. Look at those beautiful legs there, too. You know, little Mari helping here. You were married until quite recently, weren't you, darling?
Till about 5 years ago.
Oh, but you're back with us now, eh?
I sure am.
He's been released back into the hornbag community, Mari. But I mean, what other romantic appurtenances? I suppose, well, chocolates, flowers, beautiful books. Now, books are romantic. I mean, I remember when we were first married, my wife used to go down to the town hall library and get herself a romance. It was called a romance. I never read what was in them, but they're all about, you know, poofters with powdered wigs. You know, sorry, fellas. And, you know, jumping in and out of carriages, that type, by Georgette Heyer. You're probably brought up on them, Claire.
You ought to try writing one day, Leslie. I think any book of romance that you wrote would be absolutely riveting. No, let me reword that.
Riveting, I think, would be the word. The trouble with them is...
Interesting.
Yeah, well, I mean, do you write these books, do you?
Yes, I do, but I don't write what I call bodice rippers. I write contemporary romances.
Contemporary romance, I think that could be up my street. What is your name, by the way?
My name is Mary Jo.
Hello, Mary Jo. Would our women folk have read some of your stuff?
Well, they might have done.
Who publishes it?
Mills and Boon.
Mills and Boon. That's the old firm, isn't it? How about that? Run by John Mills and Pat Boon, if I'm not mistaken. They're clean living fellas, aren't they? And you write contemporary stuff, yeah? What, with a bit of language?
Not so much language, quite a lot of, lots of lovemaking, lots of sex.
Oh. And where did you learn all this material? You do a lot of research, do you? Feel like doing a bit of research tonight?
Well, I'd have to do something about you if you were going to be a hero.
What would you do about me, darling?
Just about everything.
I feel like doing everything with you, too. Hear that? We're twin souls, twin souls.
To change. You wouldn't do for a hero.
Well, I think, you know, in some of these books, a bit of language doesn't hurt. Not toilet talk, though. You know, because there's a type of fella who likes a girl to talk dirty to him. There is such a type of a fella, I'm sorry to say. I'm different. I like it when I talk dirty. I do. That's funny. So I like it most of the time. But I'll say this, that it's not just language, it's the language of love and sex and romance and marriage, but it's body language. That's a very important thing about it too, you know? Body language. Look at these people, feeling each other up the whole time. And you, sir, you know, and I can tell this woman, her legs are crossed, her arms are crossed, you know, her tonsils are crossed, probably. What about you? Do you know much about body language?
I know a bit.
You do you?
Yeah.
Well, would you be able to read mine?
Well,
What would you say?
You're invading my personal space.
I'm invading your space. That's what I was trying to do, darling. What is your name?
My name's Jane.
Hello, Jane.
Hello.
You wrote the book, did you?
I did write a
What's
book,
it called?
Yeah, it's called Body Language.
Called Body Language. Christ, what an original title.
The title might appeal to you,
It
bedside
does.
reading.
Yeah.
Yeah?
So, give us a reading. I don't care what you say. I mean, Claire's given me a serve down there.
Well,
You know, just what does my body language tell you? Yeah, I do. What kind of a person am I?
Well, you're very open.
I'm open, yeah.
Yes, very open.
I hope you are
very
too.
tactile.
Very tactile. I am.
Exceptionally
I am very tactile. As a tactile kid, you know, I groped the midwife.
It's something, you maybe should put the brakes on from time to time. Because,
Should I?
Yes, not everybody takes it in quite the
I'm
right
an
way.
Australian, and you see, I
It's
have
not your
strong
fault.
feelings for people. And what I say, it could give a bit of offence to people, but on the whole, people know that my heart is in the right place. In fact, everything's in the right place.
Oh, I'm very pleased to hear it.
But I look at a woman and I read one thing over the top of the table, you know, when she's tucking into the prawn cocktail or demolishing the Black Forest Gatto. But it's underneath the table, that's where the action is. That's where the body language is. I always drop a fork. I drop a fork and I'm down there and I see her slipping her shoe on and off and dangling on her toes. That's a sure sign, you know, she'd be in it, you know? And I'm down there sometimes for an hour, 3/4 of an hour. You know, they forget I'm there, you know? You know, they just think it's a dog with a cold nose. You can tell a lot about a woman under the table, you know. You know, just the way she, look at her legs, the way she scratches herself, anything like that. And girls, you know, how can you tell, you know, what a fella's interested? What about these lovely women up here? What's your name?
Maureen.
What's your job, Maur?
I'm an aromatherapist.
An aromatherapist. You smell good, too.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah? Can you smell me?
I certainly can.
You reckon... She can. Well, we're in business. I can smell her and she can smell me. Well, I'll tell you this. Smooth up, will you, darling? What did I smell then? Now, I'll tell you this. Darling. You rub the old oils and ointments into people, do you?
Yes, but I do a diagnosis first.
A diagnosis, do you? I like that at the end.
Do you?
But so you tell what are you going to use this particular one, do you?
Well, I'd ask you certain questions to see...
Ask me a couple, ask me a couple. We've got all night here.
Right. I'd ask you, would you say you're a nauseous person, Sir Les?
A nauseous person, yes.
Right, your liver.
Well, I mean, I am occasionally, you know, I throw up from time to time.
Well, if you're nauseous, it's usually an indication that your liver's overloaded.
The liver? Well, I have got, as a matter of fact, I had a checkup recently, and the doctor ran his periscope around me. He said my liver was enlarged. I said, that's nothing, all my organs are enlarged. But how about it? I mean, what is it about, what are the signs? I mean, Mary? How do you know a fella, I mean, how do you show a fella you're interested in him?
It's very interesting. You know, I've been talking to a lot of my girlfriends about this. And if I'm at a party, I don't know if any of the other women do this, and there's a man that, I'm attracted to.
Yeah?
I will avoid him like crazy.
You'll avoid him?
Yeah. I will talk to
a
everybody else
A lot
in the
of
room
women must
except
be
for
crazy
him.
about me in that case. They must be. I mean, is a look of revulsion a good sign, is it? Because I just got the brush off from that oily little tart back there. Well, I mean, there are certain sure signs. I reckon that a woman wants a bit of biology. I'm calling it biology, by the way, because I don't want to use a word that could cause offence tonight. I don't want to say anything that could leave people with a nasty taste in their mouth. I could say a buzzword, you know, I could say one of them words, I'm not going to say it, but a word for biology. You know what I mean? If I said that, there'd be people watching who'd go ape, you know? They'd smash up the lounge, they would, and they'd try to root the budgie. They would. They would. Not that I can do anything about that. That's out of my jurisdiction. That's out of my orbit. There's nothing I can do about it. So the budgie's got to take its chances like the rest of us. Like the rest of us. But I mean, how do fellas know a Sheila wants it, eh? I mean, what do you think? You say, oh, sorry. What about you?
I always use a beer. I always soften them up with a beer.
You soften them up with a beer?
Yeah. And,
what kind of a beer?
Well, it's normally an aphrodisiac beer.
Here's a fella flogging his product here. What is it?
I drink it mainly, actually.
3615 Pêcheur, La Bière Amoureuse. Jeez, look at this. Looks like aftershave lotion. Do you spray it on?
Not quite, no.
What's it got in it, son?
It's got ginseng in it, which is
ginseng? That's a chow thing, isn't it? Mangoes?
Softens the ladies up a bit.
Mangoes soften the ladies up. Well, I've known a woman who can soften up a mango. But I'll say this. Or something resembling a mango. So you recommend this, do you?
Well, it works for me.
It works for you? Yeah. And this is your little lady?
Yes.
And you're eminently satisfied?
Oh, yes.
Your name?
Lorraine.
Lorraine. Oh, beautiful. Well, I can see you've got a thing going there, just by your body language. I don't know. Well, I mean, I reckon that booze can be counterproductive. You know, you can tank a girl up with too much. You know, I took a Sheila home the other night. I filled her up with Advocaat, actually, and we were just getting to the point, you know, and she produced an omelette on the back seat of the car. Well, actually... No, I'm sorry. No, it was more like a vomlet. A vomlet. Well, I mean, my driver, he copped a lot, actually. He could always get a new suit and have a shampoo, but it was getting it out of that beaded seat cover, you know, with a toothbrush. It took him a whole weekend. There's something I try on women, and it's foolproof, you know? And it's a lovely idea, Claire, and you look as though you wish the tone of the evening would improve, so it's going to. This is consideration for you. You know what I say to a girl who I might have just met? I say, see, I've got these in my pocket. I say, could you use one of these, or something? You know? Could you use one of these? That's what I say. You see? I'll say to you, really. Now, yeah. Now, what she says... Now, if she says, oh, no, thank you, you've eliminated a major stumbling block. You have. You have, Vicar. Because then, you can spend money on the dinner then, and you know you've got a fighting chance later on. You've eliminated the non-starters, Claire. Yeah. Mari, got any comments?
You're a terrible man, Sir Les.
I am, but you're looking at me with those beautiful eyes of yours, little Christabel.
I was thinking, Leslie, you haven't changed over the years. You were repellent when you were younger as well, you know.
Well, listen.
I have to be honest with you, Leslie. Don't you think it's time you changed a little?
Well, I might change a little, because I believe in letting the principle of change into my life. And I change women about once a week, as a matter of fact, and that's how I start. But we've kicked a few good ideas around, haven't we? Hi, Warren. How are you, Cheryl? Lovely to see you. A couple of Australian mates of mine. You know, aphrodisiacs can go wrong. They can go very, very badly wrong. A mate of mine, a High Court judge from Australia, as a matter of fact, you probably know him, Warren. His name's Keith. No, better call him Brian. Keith's his name. He hadn't seen his wife. Well, he hadn't done the dirty deed with his wife for about a year. And, you know, he thought he was getting very lucky. And she got some of these aphrodisiacs that you were showing us, you know, and she really got horny. She was lying up there in the bed in the starfish position, you know, waiting to inspect the ceiling. And she said, go on, take one, and he's down the kitchen. Well, he'd been taking this warfarin. You know, warfarin, this stuff he'd been taking for palpitations or whatever. And you can't take anything with them or drive heavy machinery. And, boy, oh, boy, his wife was heavy machinery. She's up there, and he's taking this stuff, so he forgets, and he takes a double dose of these aphrodisiacs down in the kitchen. Well, it hits the spot instantly. He's walking around the kitchen like that. He's got one on him like a baby's arm. He has. You've christened a few, haven't you, Vicar? You know what I mean? Anyway, she says, are you coming, Keith? You know. So he runs up the stairs 3 at a time. He's really interested now. Oh, he's hot to trot. And he's run up the stairs and straight into the bedroom, opens the door, trips over a shoe and pole vaults out the window. She just sees him flashing past. Claire's laughing, ladies. Well, you know, the Undertaker, I'm telling you, the Undertaker reckons he's never seen rigor mortis in a vertical state before. They have to build a special coffin for him, and even then, at the crematorium, he jams going through the little door. Oh, beautiful. What fun. You know, it's the tip of the iceberg. We've had a lovely time. And more to come. But time waits for no man, ladies and gentlemen. Our old enemy on the wall is no exception. We've had a lovely night. There was no beating around the bush, though the bush was central to our discussions tonight. But we've tried to keep it all in the best possible taste. I'd just like to say that it's been very... I'd just like to say that it's been... I'd just like to say that it's been very refreshing talking to you. Shut up, will you?
With my wife
Put a sock in it, will you? It's been very refreshing
You are going
talking
to have
to
my
you.
say now, if you don't mind. I agree with Miss Rayner over there. It's what I would call it. No, don't you push me. No, just I'm going to have my turn now. If you don't mind, just stay sitting there. Excuse me, shut up.
About this. I don't... Look, son, will you take it easy, will you? Come on. Look, ladies and gentlemen, God bless, Godspeed. Look, drive carefully. Listen, son.